I'm happy that Canada is multicultural, multi-ethnic country. Here, you have the freedom of religion and freedom of speech and freedom of whatever you like. I do enjoy whenever I come.
An incredible sight in Bonn this afternoon as a Muslim spiritual leader arrived to begin
represents
a one-month
is small in terms of Islam, but extremely active and full of missionary zeal. Something that doesn't always go over well with fellow Muslims. Here's my conversation with the Caliph.
I remember during the Peace Village part of the tour, there was a period of time which was extremely busy. Hazur's schedule was relentless from morning to evening. Early morning it would start and then they would continue all day with mulaqats, with meetings, with interviews and many other activities, classes. After that period of 8 or 9 days came to an end, one day Hazur looked at me and saw me and he said that over the past 8 or 9 days, I was extremely unwell. I had a very, very severe fever and I felt extremely unwell. But you would never have guessed, would you? And I said that, yes, I wouldn't, because Hazur's activities were completely the same. And he never took a break for a moment. And I said to Hazur, I said that, why didn't you take some rest? And Hazur said, I have to do my Jamaat duty. That is my priority. My health, these things, it doesn't matter.
بحبل الله صاروا مؤمنين تراه بساحة الهيجا كليث ومقداما
media activity, and from the very first day of Hazur's arrival in Canada, there was the media who were there to greet him, and then in the following days there was interviews. After a few days, the producers at Peter Mansbridge reached out to the Jamaat again and themselves said that we want to do an interview with His Holiness.
There was an enthusiastic interest among all media outlets. So much so that various different media outlets wanted exclusivity, wanted to do something bigger and better and more special than the next media outlet. Among them, indeed, was the largest broadcaster in the country, CBC, and CBC News Chief Correspondent Peter Mansbridge, a person who has had a very celebrated career and is recognized throughout the world for his journalism. What was particularly unique is this most accomplished journalist in the country is also retiring this year. And we knew that this would be the last and final opportunity to help set up such an interview.
However, they also had one request which we agreed to, and that was that during the period from the time of the interview until it was broadcast, which was a period of 2 weeks, that there should be no one-on-one interviews with Hazur that are broadcast elsewhere in Canada. They wanted exclusivity for that period. We sought Hazur's guidance about this and Hazur said that we can give this permission. However, during that time, even those 2 weeks, we got many, many requests for interviews. And some of them we were able to do on the proviso that they would show the interviews after the Peter Mansbridge interview aired. However, when it came to the day of Hazur's address in York University, which was just a day before Peter Mansbridge was airing, we got a call from the Bell Network media, which is the biggest private network in Canada, and their media team, and they requested that after the York University address that day, they would like to interview Hazur. So our media team, our media representative said to them that, yes, of course, you can come and we'll arrange an interview, but on the condition that you broadcast after Peter Mansbridge. And perhaps they were in some sort of competition. They were very determined that we want to broadcast it tonight, but we politely declined. About half an hour later, the vice president of Bell phoned up our media representative personally himself, which was quite unprecedented. And he said, we have 3 national networks under the Bell News Agency under the Bell Media Group. And we will show His Holiness's address live on all 3 networks tonight, if you give us that exclusive interview which we can air tonight. And it was quite an amazing offer, and certainly would have been an incredible way for the Jamaat's teachings to be spread across Canada, and Huzoor's address was, mashallah, wonderful. However, we have to honour our pledges and fulfill our trusts.
Yes, it seems Muslim world is disturbed. And now that is spreading, it is going beyond.
One of the most historic and key parts of Huzoor's trip to Canada was when he visited the Canadian Parliament. Huzoor was taken to view Leaders' Questions, which is their version of Prime Minister's Questions. And Huzoor was seated in the VIP gallery. I was seated just behind. And directly in front of Huzoor was Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada, and his front bench. And at the end of the session, Huzoor observed the session for 15 or 20 minutes. And as it concluded, the Speaker of the House officially recognized Huzoor's presence in Parliament.
In the gallery of His Holiness Mirza Masroor Ahmad, head of the worldwide Ahmadiyya Muslim community.
Later in the day, Huzoor then had a personal one-on-one meeting with the Prime Minister of Canada in Justin Trudeau's office. And myself and Amir Saab Canada were also present during that meeting. In the meeting, the Prime Minister took the opportunity to thank Huzoor for his efforts to spread peace in the world and his efforts to spread the peaceful teachings of Islam, the peaceful interpretation of Islam to all parts of the world, and appreciating the fact that he brought that message again to Canada.
Pleasure to welcome His Holiness to Ottawa. The last time we met was a number of years ago, and I didn't yet occupy this office, but we had wonderful conversations, as we will this time, about the Ahmadi community and the challenges they face and the opportunities to work together on promoting love for all and hikmat binah.
And Huzoor actually said to him that at that time, I had a very, very strong feeling when I met you for the first time that one day you will be Prime Minister of Canada, even though at that time you were not your party leader. In fact, you had not even decided whether to stand for the party leadership. Following the one-to-one meeting with the Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau escorted Huzoor to a room further down the corridor opposite his own office, which was a larger room where there was a large round table, and 6 ministers from Trudeau's cabinet were waiting. And also some more members of the Canadian Jamaat also entered the room. And then thereafter, the media were present for a couple of minutes. Then the media left the room. And then the doors were shut. And then for about half an hour to 40 minutes, the Prime Minister and his cabinet took the opportunity to ask Huzoor questions about Islamic teachings and seek his guidance for their government policy. And you could see that they were taking whatever Huzoor was saying extremely seriously. Some of the ministers were taking notes even. And in particular, the one question that they were asking about is how to balance the different freedoms in society, freedom of religion, freedom of belief, and along with other issues such as security of a country.
Canada's decision not to take part in the Iraq war as the right one. And I also agree with your government's decision to halt its airstrikes in Syria until the circumstances of that particular conflict and the means to resolve it become much clearer. At a broader level, the United Nations must also play its role in establishing peace in the world, unencumbered by politics